The creatures from mythologies, usually when they show up, always end up getting beaten, whether it's by a god or a hero. But there are some that are so powerful they could easily tear the gods apart, and here are 10 of them. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe and also rate the video by leaving your like. And if you want to help me even more, you can click the thanks button down below, the one shaped like a little heart, and send me any amount. Or you can also become a channel member, and besides helping out, you'll get early access to the videos and to the channel's Discord. Genies or jinns are well-known creatures, especially because of the Aladdin movie where there's the blue genie. He's nice and friendly, but originally they're not very famous for their kindness. The original word, which is jinn, means something like simulation or invisibility. Now, the word genie, which is what we know, would be a kind of guardian because they believe that genies were protectors. Genies are part of Islam or pre-Islamic mythology. According to their story, they were created 2,000 years before Adam, and they were part of paradise, even staying alongside the angels, although they were weaker. Since they are made of fire, they can stay inside any object, whether it's a bottle, a vase, or the famous lamp. And of course, that's why there's that famous scene of Aladdin rubbing the lamp and a buzzing creature coming out of it. As you can see, they were good at first, but they were influenced by Iblis, who's also on this list, but I'll talk about him later. Anyway, they ended up not bowing before God's creation, which was humanity. Because of their actions, they and their leader were expelled from paradise. After the fall, they stayed in the Kaf Mountains, which, according to legend, surround the world. But because of their physical forms, they can be anywhere, on land, in the air, in water, in objects, and everywhere else. Their favorite pastime is to torture humans, especially those they consider to be worthless. They cause accidents or anything else. Even though they're below demons, they still have enormous powers. They can alter reality, have immense strength, can shapeshift, and kill with just a touch. Apophis, Pepe, also known as the moon serpent, is a gigantic serpent about 300 meters tall. She is the eternal enemy of the Egyptian gods. Apophis lives in the underworld, but she rises from these primordial waters to attack the god Ra and all his crew as they pass through there on their journey of the sunrise. Her scales shine as if they were jade, and those two huge eyes that look like rubies can hypnotize everyone. Although Apophis usually appears in the full form of a serpent, she can also appear with a human head. According to legend, the goddess Neith dropped a drop of saliva into the waters of Nun. Then a Pepe emerged and began to command a horde of demons, all of them taking the form of a fiery serpent. Apophis's main goal is to devour Ra and his entire crew. If that happened, the world would be plunged into total darkness. And if you want to know the full story of Ra's journey through the underworld, I made a video here on the channel. It's in the card and also in the description. Pepe is an embodiment of chaos, seeking not world domination but total destruction. She is linked to earthquakes, storms, and darkness. In fact, if you know a bit about this mythology, you might have noticed that the domains I just mentioned match quite a lot with the god set, which is pretty interesting, especially since he, along with other gods, is responsible for defeating Apophis. But she always comes back after all, she is immortal. Iblis, as you might have noticed in the story of the Djinn, is kind of like the Satan of Islam. He is the main demon there, and just like Lucifer in Christianity, he was expelled from paradise. According to the story, he refused to bow before God's creation, which was humanity. According to him, since he was made of fire, a material purer than clay, he would be more worthy than Adam. After being expelled from Eden, Iblis asked to have immortality there until the day of the final judgment. He started persecuting humanity and was responsible for Adam being expelled from paradise. Iblis became the enemy of humanity. And some say that he did not bow to Adam because he only respected Allah. but the reality is that he did it out of pure pride. In Buddhism, Buddha means enlightenment, but there is also the opposite of that, which is illusion, represented by Mara. When Siddhartha Gautama was sitting under a tree and trying to concentrate to reach his enlightened state, Mara appeared there many times and tried to stop him. First, he appeared to Gautama and said that someone who was a rival of his family was trying to steal his throne. Then he sent storms of ice, rain, ashes, and everything else to drive away the gods who were beginning to gather to honor the future Buddha. Then he began to wonder if Buddha really had the right to sit under that tree. He began to question whether he had really done his acts of charity. He also sent his 3 daughters, Desire, Delight, and Thirst, to seduce Gautama. But nothing happened. Even when Siddhartha had already attained enlightenment, Mara was still there, making him doubt whether people would really follow his truth. But the gods ended up helping Buddha. But Mara lives inside each person, trying to make them remain asleep in illusion. Lothan is the ancestor of one of the most gigantic and powerful serpents that ever existed. After the Israelites conquered some parts of Palestine, they incorporated the legend of Lothan under a new name, the Leviathan. The coiled serpent, the mighty one of 7 heads, the fleeing serpent, are other names for Lothan. According to the Semitic Canaanites, the Sumerians, and other peoples, Lothan was a type of animal belonging to the god Yan. In a gigantic and epic battle, he was killed by the god Baal, the god of thunder. Durga was an ordinary giant until one day, through a ritual, he managed to attract the attention of the god Brahma, who is one of the main gods of Hinduism. Because of this, he received a little gift, which was immense strength. But this strength was so great, so immense, that he managed to drive out all the gods and take their place for a while. And in this story of Durga, the goddess Durga is born. If you want to know this story, I'll leave it in the card and also in the description. Arimong is a very powerful lion of the Maranaos, a people from the Philippines. He is responsible for causing the lunar eclipse when he swallows the moon. He doesn't do this because he's evil or because he's hungry. He does it simply because he can. It's like a cat playing with a ball of yarn. When this happens, the Maranaos make a lot of noise to scare the lion away. I'm not going to talk much about Nyarlathotep here, especially since I made a very recent video where he appears. And in that video, not only him, but all the creatures, I think, could beat up a god. But let's do a summary here. Nyarlathotep is part of Lovecraft's universe of creatures, probably being the second most powerful. He can take any form, and some say he could have been many gods we know, like Toph, Ahriman, and Set. He is the closest to humans and acts like the messenger of the Creator, who is Azathoth. I just didn't include Azathoth here because Azathoth seems kind of dumb. The video I referred to can be found in the card and description. Vritra is an Asura from the ancient Vedic religion, and most likely the most powerful of them. He is represented in many forms, like a cloud, a dragon, but the most well-known form is as a giant serpent. And as in practically every mythology, the rival of the giant serpent has to be the god of thunder, right? In this case, it's Indra. According to one story, this giant serpent had taken all the water in the world, and none of the gods could recover it until Indra was born. To prove that he should be the leader of the gods, he drank a large amount of soma and became very powerful, and went to face the serpent. He brought down one by one its fortresses and reached it. After a devastating battle, he managed to recover the water of the world. According to Arab mythology, it is said to be a cosmic serpent that lives in the abyss below Bahamut, which is a fish that supports all of creation. It keeps writhing in flames until one day, at the end of the world, it will come out of there and swallow all of creation.